I learned that the red in fall maple leaves isn't what's left over after the chlorophyll fades. The tree actually manufactures it fresh while the leaf is dying. The orange and yellow you see in fall, those pigments were already in the leaf all summer long, just hidden under all of that green. But red is different. A maple tree, male maple trees, actively produce a pigment called anthocyanin, right in the middle of the dying process, spending real energy to do it. The thinking is that it keeps the leaf attached a little longer so the tree can pull back as much sugar and nitrogen as possible before winter. It's not a death rattle, it's a last-ditch harvest. And the same chemistry fires off when the tree is under stress. If insects attack a branch or the tree starts losing water in summer, it'll flood those leaves with that same pigment. So when you see a maple with big red patches in August, that's not early fall color, that's a distress signal. The tree is suffering and it's trying to do something about it. I had no idea how brutal the maple syrup process is. The tree has to be at least 10 inches around before you can tap it, and in a forest setting that takes somewhere around 40 to 50 years to get there. Once you do tap it, a single tree only gives you about 40 liters of sap in a whole season, and then you have to boil all of that down to get about 1 liter of syrup. 40 liters in, 1 liter out. I always knew maple syrup was expensive, but I didn't understand why until I looked at those numbers. It explains why most of what sits on grocery store shelves is artificial. The real stuff takes decades and an enormous amount of trees just to fill 1 bottle. And if you want to know who controls all of it, the answer is Quebec. 70% of the world's maple syrup comes out of that one province. The United States produces about 20%. That's 90% of the global supply between just 2 neighbors. There's a legal angle to maple I never saw coming. Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniels included, is required by state law to pass through charcoal made from burned sugar maple wood before it ever sees a barrel. You can't make whiskey anywhere, you can make whiskey anywhere in the country, but you cannot put the word Tennessee on that label unless it goes through that filter. I'm sure the big distilleries had something to do with writing that law, but the effect is that the sugar maple tree is literally baked into the legal definition of an American spirit category. No maple, no Tennessee whiskey, period. Maple has a music career on top of all that. It's what's called a tone wood, meaning it carries sound waves in a way most wood just doesn't. The back, sides, and neck of violins, violas, cellos, and double basses are built from it. Fender guitar necks, Les Paul tops, drum shells, all maple. It's dense enough to stay stable and hard enough not to warp, and those same properties are what makes it show up in concert hall and rock arena in the same week. There's a comfort maple in Pelham, Ontario that is estimated to be about 500 years old with a circumference of 20 feet. It got protected because someone made the case that it was the sacred site of the First Nations people that may have been a burial ground. They found artifacts in and around the property that back that idea up, and Canada moved to make it an historical artifact. You can't legally cut it down. It's been standing since before Columbus, and it's still there because somebody decided it was worth protecting. And I believe it was worth knowing.